Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to one of my favorite metaphorical protocols, which is the control room of the mind. And I was working with a client that had a condition, a sensation that they had checked out by all the different doctors and medical experts and knew that there was no underlying medical issue. And that's really important because if you have pain or a sensation in your body, more often than not, it means you need attention or help in that particular area. So getting it checked out is of course, the right thing to do. You don't want to just turn off pain or sensations if it's warning you that you need to get some kind of help. But this client had all the checks and knew that there wasn't any underlying issue there, in which case this wasn't really serving a purpose. So what you're going to hear is a use of the metaphor of the control room, and it's about utilizing certain things. So it's either framed in a certain way, and that's either that the message that it was sending has been heeded, it's been learned and understood, and therefore isn't needed, or that it's almost like a sensor issue, that it's a calibration problem. And you can see this in biology, but you also see it in technology. Sometimes you can have an overly sensitive smoke alarm, for example, that tells you there's a fire in your home even if there isn't. Or it might be a motion detector that you have on some kind of security camera that actually all it does is show you, trees that are blowing rather than actual intruders. So if it can happen in technology, it definitely happens at a biological level as well. And we can call these false reads or false positives. So there's a couple of things here that frames what's happening as a false alarm or as some kind of message. And because that message has been acted on and understood, now we've still got the alarm. It's almost kind of like if you had an alarm set in your home and you were on holiday, so you weren't in your home, the alarm would still go off, even if it wasn't helping you in any way. So you get these false reads, you can also get these false outcomes. And once there's this understanding that once the underlying message has been understood and acted upon, therefore, then the message isn't needed, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like if a fire alarm was working well and it alerts you to leave your home, well, once you've left the home, there is no advantage to the fire alarm continuing. And there's a few metaphors like this, but also the ability to change these things by using the control room of the mind. So I would encourage you to think about, and it could be pain, it could be something, an intrusive thought even, something that comes up every now and then that you just don't appreciate it. It might even be anger or annoyance or something like that. So think of that thing that happens, it's almost triggering in you, you don't want it anymore, and then think of that as you listen to this session and you'll get more out of the session. So for now, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in, feel like you're breathing in a wonderful, calm feeling of pure relaxation. And as you exhale, allow yourself to start to let go. To let go of tension, of stresses and worries, and even sensations that aren't useful. Breathing in relaxation and exhaling that tension. And maybe you can scan your body for any clues of tension. Could be in the jaw, your forehead, your eyelids and neck and shoulders, and just allow it to start to release, enabling you to feel that now is the time to allow yourself to make unconscious changes. When you think back through your life, some of your biggest changes weren't because you made a decision or tried to force something. Some of your big life changes is that your unconscious did it for you. Beliefs were changed. Ideas came to you. Certain decisions were made on your behalf by your unconscious mind, simply because it knew exactly what you needed. So let's go to that place, the place where your unconscious is given the ability to make wonderful, positive changes. Take another deep breath in. Then, as you exhale, allow your body to relax even more, releasing that tension and any distractions. And with each breath, just feel yourself sinking deeper into a calm and peaceful state, almost like you're floating, weightless, drifting. And as you listen to my voice, you may begin to notice that your body feels lighter, your thoughts quieter, your awareness gently shifting inward, guiding you to a place of deep inner focus and relaxation. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a room inside your mind. Imagine that room has a door that leads to the control room of your mind, a place where all sensations, signals, and automatic processes are managed. Imagine standing in front of that door. Could be a metal door, a glass door, a wooden door. And as I count from 5 to 1, you will imagine opening the door and walking through the door into the control room of your mind. 5. Imagine putting your hand on a handle. 4. Turning the handle. 3. Putting the door towards you. 2. Walking through the door. And 1. Closing the door behind you. And I want you to imagine what this control room looks like for you. Maybe it looks like it's full of technology. A room with a vast array of screens and buttons and dials. And you could imagine that each one represents different functions of your body and mind. I want you to get a sense that almost all of them are running perfectly. I want you to think about your breathing. Your breathing is normally slow and steady, but if you had to sprint to get somewhere, your breathing would just get faster and deeper automatically to give your body the oxygen that you need. Or maybe you think about how your body deals with heat. If it's normal temperature, your body is calm. But if it's a very hot day or you're in a hot environment, your body starts to sweat, and you don't make that happen. It happens all by itself, which tells you that most of the controls in this control room are working perfectly fine, whereas others may need just a simple adjustment. I want you to look around for a clue of a faulty sensor, a sensor that has been giving a false reading. I want you to think that sometimes in the life we live, surrounded by technology, every now and then the sensors we see give us false readings. You might think of a sensor on a car telling you that the pressure is low on the tires. But you look at the tires and you can see they're not. Or perhaps when a smoke alarm is triggered from steam or burnt toast rather than a fire. Sometimes sensors can become oversensitive, showing false positives and misreading what is actually happening. I want you to think of a sensation that you've been feeling, where you've already ruled out any physical problems, and you know logically that there is nothing physically wrong. And that means that this is not an actual problem, but perhaps more like a faulty sensor, one that for some reason has been miscalibrated. So now, I want you to find the control panel connected to this particular sensor. And maybe it looks like a dial, a button, or a switch. Or perhaps there's something that gives you the ability to reset the sensor. Lots of computers that have issues are solved instantly the moment you reboot. Sometimes you may have had a phone or a device that needed a factory reset, and the moment you did that, it took it all the way back to its original settings. And I want you to imagine there is the ability for this faulty sensor to be reset to the original factory settings, the way it was designed to work, triggering this sensation only when truly needed. And you can choose now to reset it. Maybe it's a button. Maybe it's a socket that you unplug and plug in again, but just take a moment to make that adjustment, allowing your unconscious mind to effortlessly restore it to its original, fully working state. And when you felt that you've reset that faulty sensor, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And if it takes minutes, hours, or even a few days to update the factory settings, that's fine. Allow your mind to work at its own pace. Or you may already feel a sense of relief. Already start to feel balance returning. And knowing that deep inside that your body is functioning as it should. That either now or very shortly this sensor is working perfectly. And if there is any lingering sensations, I want you to get a sense that it probably has a message for you. I want you to think that if a human could only talk to you in a language you didn't understand, that would be frustrating for you and frustrating for them. What if they had something really important you needed to hear, but you didn't understand their language? There are some languages in the world that have whistles and clicks. If they had something important to tell you, the whistles and clicks might go on for longer, perhaps days or weeks, but you would never understand the message. Sometimes there may have been a problem with some technology you've bought. Maybe you read the manual, but it's in a different language. How can you fix the problem if you can't understand the message? I want you to get a sense that you're going to give the cause of this sensation a voice. Consider it an upgrade to the software. But give it a voice that works for you. Maybe a voice that is wise, kind, or encouraging. Think of a voice right now just to test it out. And if the sensation is there, imagine the voice coming from that sensation. Maybe a wise, old voice or a kind, caring voice. And when it has that voice, it means that you can have a conversation. What does this sensation want you to know? What's it trying to do for you? Maybe it's been trying to get your attention for something important. You couldn't decipher it before, but you can now that it has a voice and your language. So listen. Be curious. Whenever the sensation is there, perhaps it wants to communicate something important. What if this is a superpower rather than a curse? Maybe it's asking you to slow down, to take better care of yourself, or to trust in your own body more deeply. Give it a platform to communicate what it would like from you. And whatever that message is, whether you hear it now or in the future, you can listen. And by listening, you let that part that created this sensation know that you've heard it. If you ignore the message, the sensations will continue. But what if you listen and make a change, and the sensations go away? Then you would know that if they ever return, it's an opportunity for you to make a shift. Because whether it's now or in the future, the moment you understand its purpose, the sensation no longer needs to persist. It's done its job. And then it can fade away, leaving you free, comfortable, and at ease. And you get to decide the narrative. From this moment forward, every time you think about this sensation, you get to decide if you think of it as a faulty reading or a message you couldn't quite understand. But now that it's been recalibrated, your body will respond in the right way at the right times. And if the sensation comes back again, what if it wants to communicate something important that you need to hear? That when you heed the message and take the action, the trigger for the message is no longer needed. Your body will respond in the right way at the right times. And if a catalyst for change is needed, doesn't that just enhance the quality of your life? And don't be surprised with each passing day that you notice a growing sense of confidence and acceptance in your body, a deeper trust, a feeling of ever-increasing comfort and ease. In fact, thank that part. Thank that sensation. It wants good things for you. And as you listen and recalibrate, your life gets better. It's time to leave this control room, but as you leave the control room, notice 3 dials: enthusiasm, motivation, and optimism. And why not just increase them all up a few notches on the dial before you leave the control room anyway? Just increase them a few notches and feel that your life will get better. It's time to leave that place and start to return to the here and the now. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, start to calibrate into the here and the now, feeling that a faulty sensor has been reset and a new communication channel has been introduced, giving you multiple ways to move towards a better life with less of a particular sensation. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.